All right. So, hey guys, this is your girl Aqua Noel, and I am going to review the second episode of Lizzo Watch Out for the Big Girls. Now, we have a lot to talk about this episode. Also, I will not be on camera today because I look a mess. I have a sinus infection that I've been fighting for a couple of days. And yeah, and you may notice from between my last video and this video that I sound extremely nasally in my voice. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, I have my notes in my handy dandy notebook. Um 90 kids will get that pun, but if you're not a 90s kid, you won't. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the episode opens up with the girls that Lizzo chose going into the mansion. And by the way, the mansion is beautiful. Um, I'm going to say that the mansion looks like something that I could not have dreamed of as far as like the way that it is designed, the interior design, from the beautiful closet to the amazing kitchen, the way that the backyard is set up. It is breathtaking beautiful. So the girls who made it into the house are Ariana, Sydney, Jayla, Charity, Isabel, Moesha, Asia, Kiera, Ashley, and Jasmine. Now, house rules that Lizzo gives them once they get into the house: no toxicity, no fake shit, and keep it real. Also, just a reminder, Crystal, she did not move into the mansion. She went straight to being a big girl. She went straight to rehearsals. So shout out to Crystal. Lizzo introduces the girls to her first big girl dancer, who is Grace, and then she introduces them to Shantae, who filled in for a dancer with an injury at the very last minute. And Lizzo just decided that she had to stay because she just was an amazing dancer overall. Lizzo says to be a big girl is to be a sister. So she brought them to assist the girls in the house. She also mentions that she has eyes and ears everywhere. So if I was one of the girls in the house, I would not take that with a grain of salt. I would not. Because number one, this is a show. Everything is being recorded. So she will know in the end what's going on. So let's keep it moving. So what we're introduced to is two awards that Lizzo is going to give out every episode. In this episode, she gave it out twice. And that's only because the beginning of this episode is like kind of like spillover from the first one. So the name of the two awards that Lizzo is going to give out is the Juice Award. And she says the Juice Award goes to the person who has heart, who shows tenacity, who's overcome something. The second award that she is going to give out is the 100% That Bitch Award. And the big girl that brings it all to the dance floor gets that award. So the first recipient of the Juice Award is Jayla. And Lizzo gives Jayla that award because she noticed that on the one-on-one shoot, what's the word? One-on-one audition, Jayla was kind of messing up. She didn't give her that wow factor that she gave her from the audition tapes. But when it came to the head-to-head battle, Jayla left it all on the floor. Period. Homegirl did what she had to do, and she left no prisoners. The first recipient of the 100% That Bitch Award is Ariana. And I'm gonna just tell y'all, I see Ariana getting it more than one time, more than twice, probably even 3 or 4 times, because Ariana brings it. She is the epitome of a professional dancer. She gives you face. She gives you energy. Like, she gives you everything that you're looking for. After the girls get their awards, they go and they find their rooms. And um the girls who are roomed together are Sydney and Isabel, Jayla and Ashley, Kiara and Moesha, Asia and Ariana, and Jasmine and Charity. Now, once they, go ahead, get settled, find their rooms, they go outside to the pool and they have drinks, and they start talking, and we learn more about Moesha. She said she's been dancing since she was 2. She loves dance. Dance is her life. And she shares with the girls that she was adopted. And when she was talking to Jasmine, she mentions that, her sister is her best friend. And, then they get into how many siblings Moesha has. And when Moesha tells Jasmine that she have 11 siblings, Jasmine's face drops. And she says, because, I'm adopted, I have 8 adoptive siblings, and I have 3 biological siblings. And she says she's the youngest on both sides. Now, while everybody else is having fun at the pool, Sydney realizes that something is wrong with her foot after the dance battle and stuff. She says when she was dancing, she felt something pop, and now her foot is in pain. So she gets checked out by a medic, and the medic says, I can already see signs of swelling. This is not good. I think you should get it x-rayed. And, Sydney is distraught about it because she feels like, I did all of this to get here, and this can really take me out of the competition. Then we learn more about Asia. Asia shares that she got into dance after her father was killed by the police. And the way she got into dance is she said she started praise dancing at church, and which I believe that's a lot, like, especially down south, how a lot of Black girls get into dance. They start praise dancing in church. And then once your parents see, or your village sees, that you're really interested in it, or you're really talented in it, then you start getting put in dance school. I did not get the opportunity to go to dance school, which I really wanted to go to dance school, but my sister, who just turned 12 yesterday, she has the opportunity to go to dance and participate in dance school, and I'm really happy for her. And I can see the difference in her just freestyling dance, but I see the difference between when she just, freestyling, just doing whatever, and when she actually uses the technique that they teach her in dance. And sometimes we don't get to do stuff. Our younger siblings get to do stuff. And sometimes we don't get exactly what we want, but it trickles down, and your child will be able to get those type of opportunities, or your younger sibling will be able to get those opportunities. And if I wasn't able to get that opportunity just for my sister to have it, then so be it. But moving on, The girls meet, well, let me back up here. After the night at the pool, the girls head back up to go to sleep. And the next scene that we see is the girls being waken up by a HBCU band by the name of Langston University. And they meet Charlene Quigley, who Lizzo refers to as a dance icon in the dance community. She's danced for Rihanna and Beyonce, and was actually in the Crazy in Love video. And now that I'm thinking about it, I can actually remember her face in the video. So she is the choreographer who's going to teach them the choreography for Good as Hell. In the rehearsals though, Mo is struggling with the choreography, and Ariana notices, and she encourages her, and she says, "You know what? We're going to help you get to where we got to go, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all here for. We're here so that all of us can make it to Bonnaroo, which is the big big concert that Lizzo is performing at after um 2 years because of COVID." And all of the girls really want to make it together to Bonnaroo and even on tour with Lizzo. And by the way, even if the girls are able to make it to Bonnaroo, it's not a promise that they would make it to be a big girl. So they are looking like, hey, let's work together. That's what we here for. And in a confessional mode, mentions not feeling worthy sometimes of the opportunities that she gets. And I can totally relate, because a lot of times we're human. So a lot of us, we won't feel like the things that we're blessed with, that we're worthy to be getting those things. And sometimes it's hard to look at yourself, especially when you've been through certain things and people talk down on you, and they speak negativity and how you feel about yourself, and it really like tears you down. And so you start to feel like, I'm not worthy of, having this job, or I'm not worthy of the partner that I have, or I'm not worthy to be this person's daughter, or I'm not worthy to be this person's friend. And in dance, Mo says she sometimes she's feel like she's not worthy of the opportunities that she gets. So after, by the way, I want to mention that I love Charlene's energy. She's so positive, cheerful, encouraging to the girls. She tells them that they belong. They belong in the room. They belong on a dance floor. They belong in the world of dance. And that's not something that people tell bigger girls. They want us to feel small. They want us to feel like you don't belong. They want us to feel like you're taking up too much space. But um Grace then the girls decide to practice with Jasmine leading, because they felt like Jasmine picked up the choreography extremely quickly. But here's the thing. Although Jasmine acknowledges that there are some amazing dancers among her, and she gives, them props, it's just she comes off as elitist sometimes, or gives off a little "I'm better than you" type of vibe. And although it is a competition, the point of a big girl, like Lizzo said from the beginning of the episode, to be a big girl is to be a sister. So it's not to be negative or hating on somebody. You're supposed to encourage and help your sister. But when Jasmine was leading, well, when Jasmine was leading the rehearsals, she would be moving too fast. Girls will ask her questions about how a certain move is supposed to be, and she'll be like, okay, moving on. And it's like, whoa, sis, you don't have to be like that. And then she mentions that she's a dance teacher and her style is to be very straightforward. And I'm like, if you act like this with with women, how do you act with little girls about getting them to dance the way that you want them to dance? Like, sometimes that's not always the right approach. And I've learned that because I am a first grade teacher, and this is my first year being a first grade teacher. And I'm learning, and I have learned that some kids, you have to give a different approach to them when it comes to certain things. You can't approach each kid the same. We would all love to, but some kids need you to break the information down further. Just like some of the girls may have needed her to break the steps down a little bit further. And it just seemed like she was unwilling to compromise. She was unwilling to do those things. And I'm trying to figure out how she's going to maneuver through being in the competition when it seems like she's breaking all of the house rules. Now, the girls have a final rehearsal. They also speak to Grace, because Grace comes by to check in, and Mo tells Grace she struggled. And what Grace tells her is, you have to have compassion for yourself. And I feel like minority women and women period, but mainly minority and mainly black women, we are taught to be strong, and we are taught that um not to show how we're feeling, or it doesn't matter how we feel. But Grace tells Moesha to have compassion for herself, and that's something that I definitely struggle with, having compassion for myself when I don't get things right, or I feel like I should be somewhere else in life. And sometimes I just have to slow down and give myself compassion. But um moving on, the girls, they get to the stadium to perform for Lizzo. And we're introduced to Tanisha Scott, who is Lizzo's creative director. And also the choreographer for the Good as Hell dance moves. The girls, they go ahead and they do the performance for Lizzo, Tanisha, Shantae, Charlene, and Grace. And Asia, for Lizzo, Asia did not shine as bright as the other girls, being that she is the captain of the Alabama State University Honeybees. And she feel like in a way Asia had full court advantage, but or home field advantage. But when the choreography is different from the stand choreography, majorette type choreography, um, it can be a little tricky for people to adjust. But she still did beautifully, and she does tell Lizzo that she was injured that day. And Lizzo says, "Thank you for pushing through that and performing through it." Then she speaks to Jasmine. Her and Tanisha speak to Jasmine and give her props on, you know, coming through with the moves, coming through with the fire that they were looking for. They also give props to Ariana, and Jasmine a little salty about that. She is. And I don't know what sis gonna do. I don't know what sis gonna do. I don't know. She was salty about Ariana getting that praise from Tanisha and Lizzo because Tanisha told Ariana, she said she said it's a blessing when you see a dancer do your choreography better than you can. And when she said that, I was blown away. And so I can only imagine how Ariana felt hearing that from Tanisha Scott. One thing I did want to go back and mention, the girls discuss how people don't really know how to properly teach full figured girls to dance. So as a result, they get injured more frequently. And this is because they feel like big girls don't belong in dance. In the dance world, a lot of people still feel like big girls do not belong on a dance stage. They do not belong in dance. They need to sit down and do whatever. That's how people really feel. But I feel like Lizzo is breaking barriers with this show and showcasing that, big girls can have the stamina to dance. They can do dance moves just as boss or badass as the next skinny girl. Now, we're going to go ahead and move on to the awards for this performance. The person who gets the Juice Award this time around is Sydney. And that's because Sydney persevered through her injury, and she really did kill it. The person that gets the 100% that bitch award, and you guessed it, it is Ariana. She gets it again because Ariana brings it every single time. It's no asking her to put in the work because she's a trained dancer. She's been dancing since she was 2. And of course, like I said, Jasmine is salty about that. But even though her face showed she was salty, her confessional spoke louder. In her confessional, she said, and I quote, "Here's how I feel about the awards here. I don't need one. I don't need to be reminded that I have the juice or I'm 100% that bitch because I already know that I am 100% that bitch and I have the juice. These awards are being given out to people who inside internally need to be reminded that they are wonderful." Girl, what? What are you talking about, sis? These awards are being given out to people who inside internally need to be reminded that they are wonderful. No, the awards are being given out to people who Lizzo and her team see deserve that the or need these awards. Like, what are you talking about, sis? The math is not mathing. It's not making sense. The awards are going to people who earn them. I'm not sure how Jasmine's gonna fare in the house the rest of the episodes, but as of now, it just seems like she's low key a hater. It seems like she's intimidated by Ariana, and she doesn't like when somebody else does better than her. So I'm not sure how that's gonna go when it comes to Lizzo saying to be a big girl is to be a sister because Jasmine is not behaving very sisterly. But that's all I have, y'all, because this laptop is about to die. Um, I will be back hopefully sometime, maybe tomorrow, hopefully, to do episode 3. Um, it might be a little late when it's posted, but that's all I got, y'all. Bye.